How to become a driver trainer in Queensland, Class C. In Queensland, a person wishing to provide pre-licensed driver training for reward must be accredited as a driver trainer with the Department of Transport and Main Roads. The requirement for accreditation as a driver trainer is in accordance with the Transport Operations Road Use Management, Accreditation and Other Provisions Regulation 2015. The person must hold a valid open driver licence issued in Australia or New Zealand for the class of vehicle for which the applicant wishes to provide training, and have held the licence for a continuous period of at least 1 year immediately prior to making the application. Refer to Section 27A of the Transport Operations Road Use Management, Accreditation and Other Provisions Regulation 2015. Traffic and criminal history. Driver trainers have a legal, moral and professional obligation to understand, obey and know that regulations exist for very definite reasons. These include guidance, restraint, uniformity and safety. It is essential, therefore, that driver trainers have a sound traffic history record. The department may refuse to grant accreditation to a person who has an adverse traffic history. The department may also refuse to grant accreditation to a person who has been convicted of a criminal offence or is currently charged with a criminal offence and the charge has not been fully disposed of. In light of public interest and public safety considerations, the department will take into account any charges or offences committed in any jurisdiction when deciding whether or not to issue the accreditation. Traffic and criminal history checks are conducted by the Customer Service Centre or QGAP office after an application is lodged. Standard for accredited driver trainer. Accredited driver trainers are required to comply with statutory accreditation conditions as detailed in Schedule 1 of the Transport Operations Road Use Management, Accreditation and Other Provisions Regulation 2015 and the Code of Conduct. When applying for driver training accreditation, the person is required to declare on the application form that they understand their responsibilities under the regulation and that failure to comply with the statutory accreditation conditions may result in the driver trainer's accreditation being amended, suspended, or cancelled. Accredited driver trainers are required to possess a suitability card, blue card, issued by the Queensland Public Safety Business Agency. For more information, visit www.bluecard.qld.gov.au. The department strongly recommends that businesses involved in providing learner driver training seek independent professional advice and obtain appropriate levels of insurance to meet their business needs. This includes professional indemnity and public liability insurance. Training qualifications. An applicant for driver trainer accreditation must demonstrate appropriate competencies to undertake the role by successfully completing the approved training course delivered by a Transport and Main Roads approved registered training organisation. The current qualification requirements for light vehicle classes C and CA are TLI41222 Certificate 4 in Motor Vehicle Driver Training, Specialisation Group A, Cars, or TLI41222 Car Motor Vehicle Driver Training Skill Set. The Australian Skills Quality Authority, also known as ASQA, is the national regulator for Australia's vocational education and training sector and is responsible for registering RTOs and accrediting courses. Complaints about an RTO or the quality of training provided should be referred to www.asqua.gov.au/complaints. Mutual recognition. A current interstate or New Zealand driver trainer accreditation may be recognised and transferred to the equivalent Queensland accreditation for the same vehicle classes. Applicants must make application to the Department of Transport and Main Roads for recognition of their existing interstate or New Zealand accreditation and pay the applicable fee. Review by the Chief Executive. Throughout the accreditation period, accredited driver trainers must maintain satisfactory levels of competency. If the Chief Executive reasonably believes the trainer is not competent to give training, the trainer may be required to demonstrate to the reasonable satisfaction of the Chief Executive that the trainer is competent to give training. Refer to Schedule 1, Part 1, Section 34 of the Transport Operations Road Use Management Accreditation and Other Provisions Regulation 2015. Application process. Applications for driver trainer accreditation may be pre-lodged without course certification to allow for criminal and traffic history checks to be commenced. However, course certification must be presented within 3 months from the lodgement date of the application. Failure to meet this requirement will result in the lapse of the application. Once the Chief Executive has made the decision to grant the accreditation, you may be issued with an interim industry authority. This interim industry authority will act as proof that you hold a driver trainer industry authority until your card arrives in the mail. Accreditation as a driver trainer is granted for 12 months. Application for renewal of the accreditation must be made prior to the expiry date. If you are signed up for e-reminders, TMR will email you an interim industry authority as evidence that you are authorised to perform the role until your industry authority card arrives in the mail. When your industry authority card is posted, 3 days before your industry authority is due to be renewed. This is the front cover of the Code of Conduct for accredited driver trainers, effective from 21 January 2022. The purpose of the Department of Transport and Main Roads Code of Conduct for Queensland accredited driver trainers is to provide clear instructions of conduct that accredited driver trainers must adhere to at all times in association with activities connected to or associated with providing pre-licensed driver training. TMR, the community and the driver training industry have an expectation that all accredited driver trainers will put learner drivers first, have a comprehensive knowledge of the road rules, demonstrate safe driving behaviours and attitudes that promote road safety and display professional and respectful conduct. This code can be found on the TMR website and should be provided to learner drivers and members of the public on request. Vehicles to be used for training and assessment. Vehicles provided by the accredited driver trainer to provide pre-licensed driver training must comply with Section 29 of the Transport Operations Road Use Management Accreditation and Other Provisions Regulation 2015. 1. A driver trainer may give a learner pre-licensed driver training in A car provided by the trainer, a supplied car, or B, a car provided by the learner. 2. The driver trainer must ensure a supplied car is fitted with the following equipment when the car is used to give the training on the road. A. Training controls that are easily accessible for immediate use by a driver trainer sitting in the front passenger seat of the car. B. An internal rear view mirror for the trainer as well as the driver's rear view mirror. And C. An external driving mirror on each side of the car. 3. The driver trainer must also ensure a supplied car has on it a conspicuously displayed sign or plate showing the contact name and contact information when the car is used to give the training on the road. 4. In this section, contact information means the business telephone number or business website address of either of the following. A. The driver trainer. B. If the driver trainer gives pre-licensed driver training as an employee of another person who carries on the business of giving pre-licensed driver training under the other person's own name or under a registered business name, the other person. Contact name means A. If the driver trainer carries on the business of giving pre-licensed driver training under a registered business name, the registered business name, or B. If the driver trainer is an employee of another person who carries on the business of giving pre-licensed driver training under the other person's own name, the other person's name, or C. If the driver trainer is an employee of another person who carries on the business of giving pre-licensed driver training under a registered business name, the registered business name, or D. If paragraphs A to C do not apply, the driver trainer's name. Training controls for a supplied car means A. If the car has automatic transmission, dual foot brake and accelerator controls, or B. If the car has manual transmission, dual foot brake and clutch controls. Note: see the Transport Operations Road Use Management Driver Licensing Regulation 2010, Section 59 for the requirement to display L plates when a person is directing a learner who is riding or driving a motor vehicle. Thanks for watching. This has been Brendan from Watto Training.